Hey guys! Sorry it's been a bit, but I'm back with one of my favorite shows that you probably never heard of, and it's called Violet. It's really good. It's set in the civil rights era, and it deals with like finding yourself and trying to block out what other people think, I guess. So I have no idea how long this is going to take, but we're going to see how it goes. So, here we go. Alrighty. So it starts off with our protagonist, Violet Carl, and she's sitting at a bus stop. She's in her, mid-20s, and she's in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. She lives on top of a mountain in a farm by herself. She used to live with her dad, but he passed away, and she has this scar on her face, and it's really bad. And she's had it for 10-ish years, and it's because of her father, because one day he was chopping wood, and the axe blade flew off of the axe and whoosh on her face. So she's kind of lived in isolation for a pretty long time. And she used to sit, or still does, she used to sit and watch this televised church program, and she dreamed of going to the preacher who hosts the program and getting her face fixed and becoming a movie star and developing all these traits that other beautiful women had. So she saved up all of her money and bought a bus ticket from Spruce Pine, North Carolina to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that is why she's at this bus stop. She's sitting next to this old lady who's a little judgy, but Violet can't be bothered because today's her day. So she gets on the bus, and she meets these two soldiers. There's Flick, who's a black soldier, and then Monty, who's a white corporal. And they're all at this rest stop together in Tennessee. And they start playing poker, and she asks if she can play along because one of the flashbacks, there's a lot of flashbacks in the show, but one of the flashbacks shows her father teaching her how to play poker. So she ends up whooping them, she's so good at poker. And they start making fun of her, and Monty sees that she's holding this catechism, and he steals it from her and starts making fun of her. He's like, religion isn't real. And she freaks out. She's like, give that back to me. That is my mother's. Her mom died before her father died. And he gives it back to her and asks, he's like, well, why are you even going to Oklahoma anyway? What's your deal? So she tells him all about how she dreams of being a movie star and having all of these traits like a good nose and a nice chin and beautiful eyes and eyebrows, and they keep losing interest and making fun of her, and she gets really upset by it and tells them to drop dead. It's pretty good. And Flick's all so they're separated for a little bit because it's tense, but Flick ends up going back to her and apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry, I understand what it's like to have people judge you, whatever, since it's the whole civil rights thing. And she's like, it's okay, whatever. And he sings this song, so good. It's called Let It Sing. He sings it, and it's about just being you and doing whatever you do best. And so they get closer, and there's a little bit of tension over there, but I'll talk about that later. And then they get to Memphis, Tennessee, which is their final rest stop for the day, and they're going to stay there all night. And the boys ask Violet, they're like, do you have anywhere to stay? Do you want to stay with us at this hotel or whatever? And at first she says no, but then they call her a party pooper, and she's like, okay, I'll do it. I'll go to the hotel with you guys. So they go to the hotel, and she takes a nap and has this really weird dream about her younger self dancing with her father. And then Monty comes in and starts dancing with her and the old lady from the bus earlier. So it's this weird Monty dream or whatever. But then she wakes up and finds Monty in her room reading her catechism, which has all of her mom's thoughts in it because her mom used to read it and write in the margin, and Violet also does it. So she's all like, why are you in my room? Get out! And he's like, I'm just doing me, and he tries to hit on her, and it's really weird. But then Flick comes in, he's like, are y'all ready to party? And Violet says, heck yeah, I'm ready to party. So they go to a club and start partying. Monty gets so drunk. So drunk. Like, whoa. And Violet is dancing with Flick, and there's like a little thing going on there, and everybody's like... But everybody keeps judging them because they're kind of taken aback by the whole interracial thing. And Monty swoops in and starts dancing with Violet, and Flick leaves. He's like... Ugh. And Violet follows him out, but Monty is so drunk that he doesn't notice, so he just stays in the club or whatever. And they're talking, and then she's like, hey, you know, the lock on my door is broken. Isn't that crazy? And he's like, yeah, that's pretty crazy, yeah. And then they're about to kiss, but then the landlady comes in and is like, no! If you want to go over there, and you go over there, and you guys can say goodnight and not see each other for the rest of the night. And Violet's like, dang it. So she goes back to her room and starts falling asleep, but then Monty comes in, still very drunk, and starts flirting with her, and then they end up having sex. It's great. I hate them. They're so bad together. So they spend the night together, and then the next day, the boys are sending Violet off on her bus, but Flick and Violet start talking, and he gets really mad. He's like, I thought we were going to be something. And she's like, I told you my door was going to be unlocked, and you did not take that opportunity. And Monty did. So who's the real man here? And Flick gets mad. He's like, ah! And Monty and Violet are rehearsing in their separate quarters what they're going to say to each other, because they're going to be split up for a little bit, and they're not sure exactly how to deal with that. So Monty's like, I will be waiting here for you at this bus stop. I'll be here for you because I care about you. And Violet's like, I don't really think you do, so I'm just going to go. So she gets on the bus, and Monty's like, oh, no, wait, come back. And she's like, bye. So she gets all the way to Tulsa, Oklahoma. She walks in and sees the sermon going on and is overcome. She's like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So after the sermon is over, she walks up to the preacher and is like, hello, I would like for you to fix my face, please. And they start having this weird, like, battle thing where they keep spitting, like, Bible verses at each other to like, try to convince the other why they are right. Because the preacher keeps saying, he's like, I'm sorry, I mean, I can teach you inner beauty, but I can't fix your face. And she's like, what do you mean? I paid all my money. I spent my entire life savings to come down here to get my face fixed, and I demand to get my face fixed. And he's like, I can't do that for you. I'm sorry. And she gets overwhelmed, and she becomes so angry that she visualizes her father, and she starts yelling at him because he never really apologized for destroying her face. And this entire time, she's been dealing with never getting closure, I guess. So in this vision or whatever, she finally gets her closure, and her father apologizes. And suddenly her father is like, oh my God, your face, it's beautiful. She's like, is it fixed? He's like, you look so good. You're beautiful. What? Oh, wow. And she like wakes up from the vision, and she's like, oh, my face is fixed. So she gets back on the bus, but she's like, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to spoil it for Monty or Flick or anyone. I just want it to really set in, you know? So she gets on the bus, she's beaming, she's had the most self-confidence she's ever had in her entire life. And nobody messes with her or anything, because they're like, ooh, look at her, she's got self-confidence. So she gets off the bus, she's back, Monty's there waiting, obviously. She's like, what do you think? And he's like, about what? She's like, well, look, it's fixed, my face is fixed. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I told you it wasn't going to work. I wish I could have helped. And she's like, what? And then she touches her face, and she realizes that the scar is still there, and she breaks down. She's like, I'm a big old idiot. How I went all the way here without even looking in the mirror, and I thought I was beautiful. And she loses all of her self-confidence again. And Monty's trying to fix it. He's like, no, I didn't mean it. You're beautiful. I mean, how about you marry me before I go to Vietnam? And she's like, you're going to Vietnam? And he's like, yeah, I'm going. And she's like, what about you, Flick? And Flick's like, no, I'm not going to Vietnam. And Monty's like, will you marry me? And she is like, no, I can't. I am literally a disgrace or whatever. And Monty says, all right, bye. I'll write to you. And he just leaves. And Violet is she's just so sad. And she is about to leave and never come back. But Flick is like, hey, Violet, you are a completely different person. As soon as you came off that bus, I saw somebody who I'd never seen before. And you are so beautiful. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm ugly. I'm disfigured. And he's like, you belong with me, Violet. And then they end up together in the end. It's so good. And my favorite couple of all time is Violet and Flick. So good. But that is the story of Violet. Ooh, that took me 10 minutes. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention, though. It's really interesting how they do this, because they don't put on some special effects, like gash, gross, like scar thing. What they do is they actually send the actress on stage without any makeup on. And it is so cool, because it lets the audience, like, decide what she's supposed to look like. And if it's as bad as she says it is. But that is all I got for you. So, go ahead and let me know what musical I should summarize next. I'm working on right now, actually, like a timeline. I just posted about it today, but I was thinking about, like, doing a musical theater timeline of, like, period pieces, because I thought it might be cool. But, yeah, go ahead and let me know what show you want me to summarize next. If you want to subscribe, that would be real cool. I'd appreciate that. No one's gonna hurt you about it, so you should do it. But yeah, I will see you next Sunday. I think I'm posting on Sundays now, so there you go. Talk to you later. Bye.